Hello, everyone.
And welcome back to
Black
Essence
Personified.
We are really happy to have you guys in the studio with us today.
Hold on a second. You're not going to introduce yourself?
Oh. Ladies first.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Okay. I'm Gemini, Nubian queen. And this is my best friend,
Pharaoh, Odin.
Yeah, and we have a very interesting topic for today.
Yeah, it's one of those, the Republic is falling day.
All right, let's start off with a little drum roll and then you can tell our title. Ready?
Handmaid's Tale, the prequel.
Yes! I mean, here we are. We smiling about it, but it's not funny. It's actually kind of like scary.
Very, very.
I'm saying kinda. Like I think I'm just being a little too nice here. Like this is terrifying. Oh my gosh. And the fact that it's happened so quickly. Actually, it didn't happen quickly. Maybe that's the problem. But you know what? We're about to get into all of that. But let's start off first with the basics, all right? What happened? Supreme Court case? All right, so let's start off with this. All right, in 1973, the Supreme Court ruled that the Constitution of the United States generally protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion. That's Roe versus Wade. What happened today? Talk to him.
Today, they overturned that decision with a 6-3 vote, basically saying that the federal government does not have the right to enforce that. And women do not have a federal right to an abortion. Do you know the name of the case? I've been so wrapped up, I didn't even know what they called the case.
The name of what case?
The case that actually is the case that they overturned it with.
Yeah, we might have to pause that and figure that out real quick.
We're going to get that information to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't know when this is going to be posted, but literally this happened right around like 9 hours ago. So this is like our first initial response. And like I said before, it's terrifying. Like, hence our title. Anybody seen that show? Handmaid's Tale?
It's happening.
Listen, they're not sponsoring us or anything like that, but let me tell you, the movie is, I keep saying movie, but the episodes are crazy as fuck. And now, in 2022, we're seeing some of that firsthand. As a woman, this is frustrating. This feels like an attack. And, my heart is really heavy.
I've been calling this for a while. And
You have.
I have been saying that everybody needs to be worried about the forthcoming Republican supermajority because it is coming. And the Republicans have been working very hard to position themselves for that. It's not even about how did this happen. We all watched it happen. No group has worked on anything as politically consistent as evangelical Christians or hard right Christians have worked on overturning abortion, to the point that we had Democratic presidents not filling court seats. And now the Republicans have made sure to fill as many court seats as they can, which means any case coming towards the courts to protect women is not, because the judges are conservative judges and their beliefs are different than your beliefs. And that's currently where we're at.
Can we talk about like the Christian beliefs in general, or is that going to be too much? Like, I feel like this is our channel, our podcast. So why can't we really talk about it? Like,
I mean, we could, but it's like, it's not just them. You know, most of the religions have the same view around abortion. So blaming it solely on the Christians would only be because they're the majority religion in America. But the polling shows the majority of women don't have this super majority on their belief about abortions. religious women, women who go to church every week, tend to be anti-abortion. So where is the unified group that would fight to keep abortion legal? And from my current review, I don't see that group. I don't see where they are. You know, you may come out for a women's march.
This is actually a really good point because, like, how many times do we see people outside of abortion clinics, right?
I worked
might
across
see
the street
people
from one.
marching, like they might be marching for women's rights, and in that case, there's always a whole group of people. But now we're talking about legit, people who are out there every day. Like, we see them right there on the main roads with signs. They
Yes.
have never really stopped. So my thing is, like, what do we do about it, though? Because if we don't unite at some point and let people know that this is a problem, how much worse can it get? I hate fucking saying that shit.
Well,
I hate fucking saying that shit.
this is not a how much worse can it get. You either can get an abortion or you can't. And law has only been in the books for what? 50 years, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe 50 years? It hasn't even been a
50 years.
full century. Like,
Yeah.
that's more than enough time to say we politically tried something and then didn't like it and undid it. In the span of time it actually existed. You know what I'm saying? I think prohibition might have lasted a shorter amount of time or a little longer amount of time. Like, this is within the same century. The question is, this is a representative republic. You cannot take your foot off the gas for any freedom you like. If you're not every day out there fighting for your freedom, you're going to lose it. Because there's someone who doesn't like seeing you do your freedom. And they're also out there marching and protesting. And that's how a republic works. Whoever puts the most work into getting their thing typically gets their thing. I worked across from an abortion clinic every single day on the dot. The anti-abortion people were outside that clinic with their signs, their things, harassing any girl who tried to walk in there. Maybe once or twice a week, you would see the other side trying to help them in. But they were not as consistent as the people trying to take it away. And that's really, for me, where we are. We can't argue about what's right or what's wrong because that's not how history works. Do you have support for your argument? Are there people unified behind your argument? And are you consistently fighting for your argument?
Yeah, but is the argument, like, for me, it's pro-choice, right? Not pro-abortion, pro-choice.
Okay.
And I feel like the people who are arguing that, abortion is wrong or you're killing the baby. Or
That's a strong argument.
It is a strong argument, but it's when they make it about the children, for me, that's personal. Because usually following up from that question, I usually ask, well, how are you supporting the children? And most people can't really tell me how, because prayers ain't doing it. All right. Saying, oh, I support children means that you're also supporting their well-being. What happens once they're here? And I can say, from someone who has a lot of female friends, a lot of them, even if they are not pro-choice, they have had some sort of situation. Like, abortions are very common, even among people who say that they don't agree. It's just easy to hide it. Why? Because we've made it that way.
I mean, you're very right. And even still, the argument that they have is, oh, these young girls are out here having sex and getting abortion. That's not what the numbers show. The majority of people getting abortions are married women or people who already have children, which means the argument around abortion is based off misconceptions.
Yeah.
But I'm going to change it to this. Who just did this? Pretty much a party of mostly white men.
Yeah.
Why would white men right now be so anti-abortion? Something girls keep asking me is, why are men so pro us having their babies? They never want to take care of them. I'm like, okay, on an individual level, that makes sense. But when you start talking about my group as a whole, my feelings will probably change. And right now, the numbers show that white males are decreasing. It's in the numbers. White women are not having enough white sons to keep the white male race valuable. So if they didn't get rid of abortion, you would be literally expecting them to die off quietly. And everything about European history shows they ain't dying off quietly.
Yeah, but isn't even that dominated by control?
What?
If white men are out, then they don't have control, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so once again, it's not about the children, it's about control.
Children are part of control.
Exactly.
Children are, first of all, it's not even about that. There aren't enough white women to even produce enough white males right now to keep them not even in control, but relatively an individual race going forward. Like, it's not, it's like for them, they're looking at the annihilation of pure white males.
I hear what you're saying.
So I even if they're right or wrong, the problem is they feel like they're being wiped out. So everything they're doing is being phrased in the argument of my existence. That is a very powerful argument. Oh, they're pro-choice, women having choice, but I'm pro-babies living. That's a also powerful argument. The problem is somehow that side has gotten these emotional-based arguments, and those play to human beings far more than a rational argument. And that's really the problem. Abortion being legal is a rational argument. The numbers show when women have the choice to raise children when they're ready, our civilization produces less criminals, produces happy children, more productive citizens. But that's a very rational argument. How do you counter that with y'all killing babies? That's really, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a democracy. And that's
if you're using the word babies.
Well, that's
but
true.
That's a
true.
whole other
that's
story.
True. That's
I
true.
still think that at the end of the day, that you are so focused in trying to create
power
that you're willing to take away the choice.
I would even phrase to you, if you're not playing the game of power, what game are you playing? Because it's the only game that ever mattered.
What, to men?
To anyone. Your rights are being taken away because the party who you're voting for is not properly playing the game of power. If they were properly playing the game of power, you wouldn't have this problem because they would have put judges in to protect you. But they're not playing the game. One party actually is literally reading the rules, following the rules.
Yeah, but that's my problem. I feel like what are they doing? And
win elections,
let's
fill
just keep
the
it
seats.
real. Let's keep it real. Like, we don't want to make this whole entire episode on politics, because we be sitting here talking all day about this group versus this group. And honestly, I'm not even
that committed.
I'm not.
No, that's true.
Because there's a whole bunch of lies involved. And as you said, at the end of the day, it is about power, and it also is about money. So
but if your side, this is a government, like, this is my ultimate complaint.
Okay.
The left is not playing the game as it's written. All you're doing is complaining about the game and not playing it. But the rules...
Yeah, but how do they play it, though?
Because every time they win an election, they don't just...
Well,
sit
they
in
definitely
the role
should have got...
and be pretty, all right? They literally start passing bills that their base asked for. I always say the Republicans are doing what Republicans want them to do. That is something... The only issue that they're at odds with their party on is guns. Guns are the only thing the Republican base wants more stuff on that the Republican Party is not. But every other issue are Republican-based issues.
Okay. I mean, I'm listening to you and everything.
Even if you're the left, yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so in reference to what you just said, what you're also saying is that Democrats don't have too much of a specified vision or a one for all. But I do feel like there are No, actually, you're right.
Not
you're
anymore.
Right. I'm like...
Not anymore, right? What is the Democratic Center? There is none.
I see what you're saying. But I do feel like we need to coast back to Roe v. Wade.
How? If you can't come up with a argument to counter their argument, if your party's not unified in any way, all you're doing is selling dreams about what we need to do when clearly there's no one doing it and there's no one showing the will to do it.
And on another note, if you are that unified, that means that you're probably going to get a lot more money because they feel like it's worth the invested interest.
The Republicans are set to win the next few elections solely because they agree on the same things, 85%, and they have a single leader.
Yeah, but how? See,
That's all you need to win.
You don't want me to like go back into religion, but I do feel like a lot of that has a lot to do with it. Like the fact that there are a lot of Democrats who are conservative. That right?
The Democrats take everybody, so no one has to be loyal.
I'm just saying, if you have a lot of Democrats that are conservative, then that means that their conservative views are still what are considered priority, right? So, like, as you said it, I'm like, okay, I can see why this could be an issue. But, like, and when it comes down to me feeling about the decisions that I'm making about myself, I mean, like, the older I get, the more in touch I am with what I want and who I would like to be. And I want to be able to have control over what's going to happen. And of course, the question is, what's next?
Anything.
What's next? It's definitely going to be on women first.
Interracial marriages, same-sex marriage, I think may go. I would not be shocked if they push same-sex marriage back to the States.
Well, I saw that in a couple of articles today, actually, and then I had to take a break from social media because it was a lot.
Why not?
But they were like, yeah, let's take away same-sex marriage next. Who is it? Oh, my gosh, I don't remember his name.
You can't be mad. If my number one rule, we all know the rules. If someone is actually playing by the rules and winning, and someone's just standing on the sideline complaining about the winning side for playing by the rules, get the fuck out my face. Yeah, and that's literally how I feel when anyone approaches me like, oh, they overturned abortion. Yeah, they did it. They worked at it. I literally watched them all my life work on it. What are you working on? There's not a single thing I can say the left is consistently working on besides not doing shit. Nothing.
I wouldn't say that they're not doing shit, but right now it definitely feels like they're not doing shit during this term.
You know, I think we got something moved on guns. I saw the Senate pass some bipartisan gun thing, and that's because the Republican base has drastically shifted on guns. It's in the polls. People are like, this is enough.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Not the last thing you said, but the thing before that. Is like, it reminds me of like when you're growing up and your mom is like, you have to play by the rules, and then there's this one kid that doesn't play by the rules and he gets what you wanted and you're like, what the fuck? And that's the first time you find out that life really isn't fair. Like the disappointment of like, but I did everything right. It's like studying for a test all night and then you get it and then you fail that test. And you feel like, what was the point?
You do understand that this is not that. The other side did not study for this test.
Oh!
Okay, this is not that.
They didn't study for the counterattack.
They literally woke up 5 minutes before they had to leave and scribbled some notes on the fucking paper and went to the test like, oh, I failed? I failed? How did I fail? It was established law.
I don't know. I think we also need to figure out, like, we really don't know what's going on. I feel like you know what it is right now in society? There are so many distractions. And these distractions do their job. They do their job. And we don't really know what's going on until it's like we got a little inkling that it might happen.
Until Rome is on fire and the Republic is falling.
Okay.
It was not until then that they knew that their civilization had gone too far.
I love when you use that voice. I think we should have like story time or something. Until I feel like I don't have it like you.
You got it.
You think I'm a good storyteller?
You tell me a story.
I don't know. I just feel like do it again. Do it again. Say something else.
Tell me a story. It might be the mic. I think that's the mic is doing.
The mic is bringing out other different parts of you.
It's a blue.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
I mean, the world's on fire. Abortion's gone.
Yeah.
Women's rights. Mothers, the biggest thing that's annoying to me is that little girls today have less rights than their mother. That's very annoying to me. But, you know, their mothers didn't fight to keep those rights. So.
Well, you already said that you think next they're going to go after same-sex marriage.
Then they're going to go backwards the way they came forward.
Okay.
So.
Everything that we already received.
No. They did abortion before same sex. I don't know, because the Republicans do have a gay party wing, and there are a lot of white male gay conservatives who give money to the party because the party makes them money. So I don't know if they're going to go after same-sex marriages. I just
It's a possibility.
assume because that's what I would expect Christians to go after next. Like, I've saved the babies.
Yeah.
Now I have to save them from the gays. Like, that's how I would think a Christian would think.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if it's right. I'm stereotyping. I'm sorry.
based on the last thing when they were talking about drag queens reading to kids, I do feel like there's definitely an agenda. And I say
The
once
trans
again, like,
have lost. They're next. You're right.
like,
Yeah.
does it really bother you? Whatever.
You're
That's a different topic.
You're asking Christians.
That's a different
if
topic.
Men dressing up as women in front of children bothers them. You know these people.
Yeah, but they don't
You
be
know
complaining
it.
about the choir director that's in the front that's flamboyant as fuck. That
That
literally brings his boyfriend to church every single Sunday, but because he doesn't admit to the fact that he's gay, now
Christians,
we
you
can
better
accept
keep
him.
that shit
Come on,
quiet.
stop. But if he started reading to the kids and he put on lip gloss, everybody be okay?
He got to go.
Like, I think at some point we need to really
These fucking
look at the
heathens.
stuff that actually affects you. Like, look at the
You are
stuff that actually
asking
affects you.
A religion that is a few thousand years old and successfully took over the world to be rational in their understanding. They can't even get along with each
No,
other.
don't
Look
ever
how many,
do that laugh
look
again,
how many
though.
denominations there are. I don't like that.
No, you bringing up a good point though. It's like, but it's kind of like the same thing when people like, oh yeah, like you guys are so violent. I'm like, what the fuck? Do you know how this country came
Ain't
about?
nobody killed more people
Like,
than Christians.
stop it. Like, oh yeah, but God is love. I'm like, y'all better know your
remember-
history.
I remember telling this girl that, like, I fear Christians more than I fear a Satanist. All right? The Christians have, in recorded history, killed more people than any other group known to humankind.
They got a large
Satanists,
following, too.
At most, dress up in black, pierce themselves, and occasionally you get one weirdo who likes to kill animals. Occasionally. But that is nothing compared to the genocides committed by Christianity. Nothing. Not compared. So, yeah.
Okay.
Just want to put that out there.
So at the end of the day, I saw, and I'm going to do a shout out to Amanda Seals because I saw it on her Instagram and how she gave a shout out to women all over the world. And she was just saying, please, like, just take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and don't overwhelm yourself once again with social media. I'm not counting listening or watching this video. Go ahead and watch it, but then take a break and just really just give yourself the moment to grieve. Something happened. Something happened that will affect you. Now, I know it really depends on what state you're in and what decisions they plan on making. But yes, this was a decision made by the American government that will foster some sort of change. It will affect the system in some way, shape, or form.
Good or bad.
So just allow yourself to take it in.
My last piece of advice would be enjoy all your freedoms now because they're going to take them away.
Oh my gosh.
Anything that the Christians have a problem with, you go do it now. Drinking, smoking, orgies, you
Drop
get them
the
out the
ending.
way now.
Drop the ending
before
right
we're
here.
all gender traitors and we're on the wall, okay? You have any affirmations for them? Let's wrap this up real quick.
No,
Hard follow, right? Hard
oh
follow.
my gosh. Okay, so my affirmations for today are you serve a purpose. You deserve to be here. And whatever you're going through right now, it will pass. At some point, it will pass. So you can do this.
There's a vision you have of yourself, a great and grand vision. You imagine yourself achieving all of your goals. You imagine yourself fully fulfilled. And I'm here to tell you that the only thing keeping that vision from coming true is the work you are not doing for that vision. We cannot complain about the things we don't achieve with the work we did not do. So work. Work hard. Sweat. Cry a little. Bleed a little. But you climb that mountain and you get to the better version of yourself that you are holding hostage.
Ooh, I'm sorry. There's that storytelling voice. Work, 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 work.
Yo, it's Patience from the book.